big development. Delhi Rouse Avenue Court has granted an extended 4 days custody for Arvind Kejriwal. He will be presented before the court next on the 1st of April at 11:30 a.m. Meanwhile, his wife has alleged that his health is suffering in the process. Remember, Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal was arrested by the ED on the night of 21st March in connection with the now scrapped Delhi excise policy case. In the past week, the high-octane developments have taken place in the national capital, with AAP ministers Atishi, Saurabh Bhardwaj being detained during a massive protest at ITO in Delhi. Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, of course, has given out 2 instructions also. Meanwhile, while in custody, Sunita Kejriwal has, of course, also addressed the people of the country, informed them about what Arvind Kejriwal wants to communicate to the citizens of Delhi. Meanwhile, also, though, no relief to Arvind Kejriwal from the Delhi High Court either. Joining us at this point is Shikha Rai, BJP spokesperson. We also have Ramakant Gaur, Supreme Court lawyer, live with us. Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, is joining us live. Gyanendra, political analyst, also joins us on the broadcast. Shikha Rai, no relief for Arvind Kejriwal yet. ED remand extended to the 1st of April. Your first reaction to the developments today that panned out in court. And also the assertion that Mr. Kejriwal made in court, saying that there is a money trail showing Sharath Reddy donated to the BJP after he was arrested, and the ED is selectively targeting him even though there is no proof. Shikha, can you hear me? All right, I think we've lost Shikha Rai's connection. Joyita Basu is with us live. Joyita, this is a big charge, of course, leveled by Arvind Kejriwal today. How do you react to how the hearing panned out in court? Interestingly, his wife outside the court also saying that he's being harassed inside, which is affecting his health.
Specifically when it comes to the case of Sharath Rai, we have just done an report. This came out on Sunday, which says that allegations of political influence on approver, meaning Sharath Reddy, in Delhi liquor case is unsubstantiated, and it's a detailed story. People can go through it and find out, because you see, much before this Sharath Reddy came on the radar, this case, the CBI and all, they had all concluded their case. So even, I mean, it makes for good talking points in terms of, you know, whatever they are saying. It's a huge propaganda, of course, but I don't think it's going to hold up in a court of law beyond certain optics, because I mean, our report in fact went into the details of it, because it's a very serious charge that all the Aam Aadmi Party people have been making, and we did a story. And okay, if I can read out a little bit, Uday, from that story.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a story from the Sunday Guardian.
Yeah. Okay. Now, according to the story is that the series of events is being cited as proof that Sharath is biased and had turned approver because of political pressure, and hence his testimony as approver should not carry weight. Now, however, while the said accused, meaning Reddy, was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in November 2022, the CBI, on whose first information report the ED had based its investigation, had completed its investigation much before that. You know, apart from relying on its investigation, this is I am reading out from the story. The ED's findings in the case are based on the report that was submitted to Delhi Lieutenant General by Delhi Chief Secretary in July 2022, which formed the basis of the CBI FIR. So, all these things came into the picture much before this Sharath Reddy person appeared on the scene. So, frankly, I hope they will have enough matter to prove their charges, because you see, when a chief minister of a state of some stature, as someone of stature of Kejriwal is making these charges, then he should be able to substantiate it in a manner to legally defend himself in court. Now, whether he has that or not, I don't yet know. As for whatever these people are saying, you know, it's but natural when your party's supremo, when your main leader, a person as high profile as Arvind Kejriwal is arrested, it is but natural that his people will hit the
Joyita, stay with us. Saurabh Bhardwaj is speaking right now. Let's go across.
Available for everyone. गांव में
महिलाएं अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने अपनी रिमांड को अपोज नहीं किया, उन्होंने उसका स्वागत किया। उसके बाद अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने कोर्ट से इजाजत मांगी कि मैं कोर्ट के संज्ञान में अपने इस मामले के विषय में कुछ बातें रखना चाहता हूं। ईडी ने इसका विरोध किया। फिर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के वकील ने सेक्शन 313 कोट किया और कहा कि ये अपनी स्टेटमेंट कोर्ट के सामने दे सकते हैं, कोर्ट इसको अलाउ कर सकता है, प्रावधान है। लिहाजा कोर्ट ने इसको अलाउ किया। जितनी स्टेटमेंट हम लोग उनकी लिख सके, समझ सके, वो मैं एक बार आपको पढ़ के सुनाना चाहता हूं। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने कहा कि यह केस लगभग पौने 2 साल से चल रहा है। 17 अगस्त 2022 को सीबीआई का पहला केस फाइल हुआ था और 22 अगस्त 2022 को ईडी ने अपनी ईसीआईआर फाइल की। अब मुझे गिरफ्तार किया गया है। ना तो किसी कोर्ट ने मुझे दोषी करार किया है, ना ही मेरे ऊपर कोई मुकदमा चला है, ना ही मेरे ऊपर कोई आरोप तय हुए हैं, ना ही मेरे ऊपर कोई आरोप लगे हैं। अभी तक केस में सीबीआई ने 31,000 पेज कोर्ट में फाइल किए हैं और 294 विटनेस यानी कि गवाह एग्जामिन किए गए हैं। ईडी ने लगभग 162 विटनेस को एग्जामिन किया है और करीब 25,000 पेज फाइल किए हैं। इन सारे विटनेस और कागजों को मिलाकर मुझे क्यों गिरफ्तार किया गया है? मेरे नाम सीधे सीधे 4 स्टेटमेंट डाले गए हैं, यानी कि लगभग 4 स्टेटमेंट ऐसे हैं जिनमें अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के नाम का जिक्र है और उन्होंने कहा कि मैं ये चारों स्टेटमेंट्स के विषय में आपके सामने बात रखना चाहता हूं। पहला स्टेटमेंट मनीष सिसोदिया जी के तब के सेक्रेटरी सी अरविंद के विषय में था। उन्होंने कहा मेरा नाम 4 जगह आ रहा है। सबसे पहले हैं सी अरविंद। सी अरविंद मनीष सिसोदिया के सेक्रेटरी थे। उन्होंने यह बयान दिया कि एक दिन वह मेरे घर में मेरी मौजूदगी में मनीष सिसोदिया जी से उनके कुछ एक्साइज के डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैंडओवर किए। यानी कि सी अरविंद को मनीष सिसोदिया जी ने सीएम साहब के घर पे कुछ एक्साइज के डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैंडओवर किए। उन्होंने यह नहीं कहा कि कुछ पैसे दिए, ऐसा कोई आरोप नहीं है। मैडम, मेरे घर पे ढेरों विधायक, मंत्री और अधिकारी आते हैं, उनके सेक्रेटरी आते हैं, वह आपस में खुसर पुसर करते रहते हैं और कई कागज एक दूसरे से एक्सचेंज करते हैं। मुझे क्या पता कौन किसको क्या दे रहा है? क्या यह बयान एक मौजूदा मुख्यमंत्री को गिरफ्तार करने के लिए काफ़ी है? उन्होंने कोर्ट के सामने अपना ये सवाल रखा। उसके बाद उन्होंने दूसरे गवाह के ऊपर आए जिनका नाम है मुगुंटा श्रीनिवास रेड्डी, जिनको एमएसआर भी कहते हैं, जो जगन रेड्डी की पार्टी के सांसद थे। एमएसआर एक दिन 16 मार्च 2021 को 4:30 बजे उनके दफ्तर में आए। इससे पहले एमएसआर एक दिन 16 मार्च 2021 को 4:30 बजे उनके दफ्तर में आए। इससे पहले उन्होंने 10 दिन पहले अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को चिट्ठी लिखी कि मैं एक सांसद हूं, मुख्यमंत्री से मिलना चाहता हूं। अरविंद जी कह रहे हैं मेरे ऑफिस में उन्हें 10 दिन बाद मिलने का समय दे दिया गया। वह 4:30 बजे मेरे पास मिलने के लिए आए। मैं किसी वजह से जल्दी में था तो उन्होंने मेरे से कहा कि मुझे दिल्ली में अपना फैमिली चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट खोलना है, उसके लिए मुझे ज़मीन चाहिए। हमने कहा कि ज़मीन हमारे अंडर नहीं आती, एलजी साहब के अंडर आती है। आप चिट्ठी दे दीजिए, मैं एलजी साहब को फॉरवर्ड कर दूंगा, यानी कि पहुंचवा दूंगा। 16 सितंबर 2022 को उनके घर पे रेड पड़ी। उनसे पूछा जाता है कि क्या आप अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से मिले? उन्होंने कहा कि जी हाँ, मैं मिला और मैंने अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से अपनी फैमिली के ट्रस्ट के लिए ज़मीन मांगने की बात कही थी। 16 सितंबर ये जो स्टेटमेंट है ये 16 सितंबर 2022 को सेक्शन 17 में ली गई थी। ये एक पीएमएलए का सेक्शन है। 5 महीने बाद यानी कि 10 फरवरी को उनके बेटे को गिरफ्तार कर लिया जाता है। मुगुंटा रेड्डी के बेटे को गिरफ्तार किया जाता है। उसके बावजूद वे अपने पुराने स्टेटमेंट पे कायम रहते हैं। जब 5 महीने तक उनका बेटा गिरफ्तार रहता है तो बाप टूट जाता है। 16 जुलाई को उसके पिता अपना स्टेटमेंट बदल लेते हैं, यानी कि राघव के पिता मुगुंटा रेड्डी अपना स्टेटमेंट बदल लेते हैं। बीच में ईडी के लॉयर ने फिर से अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को रोकने की कोशिश की, हल्ला गुल्ला हुआ। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने कहा, राजू जी मैं आपका आशीर्वाद चाहता हूँ, मिस्टर राजू आई नीड योर ब्लेसिंग्स, प्लीज़ मुझे बोलने दीजिए। और फिर किसी तरीके से दोबारा अरविंद जी ने अपनी बात शुरू की। उन्होंने कहा 16 जुलाई को अपना बयान वे बदल लेते हैं। एक बाप अपने बेटी की गिरफ्तारी के बाद अपना बयान बदलता है और 18 जुलाई को उनका बेटा छूट जाता है। उसके बाद उनका और कोई नया स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड नहीं किया जाता। जो बयान बार बार हो रहे थे उनमें कोई भी बयान अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ नहीं था, इसलिए बार बार नए बयान लिए गए। और जैसे ही अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ बयान दे दिया गया, फिर कोई और बयान की जरूरत ईडी को नहीं थी। बाकी सारे बयान जो है कूड़े के कचरे के डब्बे में, और इस बयान को ईडी जो है कोर्ट के सामने पेश करता है। उसके बाद और कोई स्टेटमेंट नहीं लिया जाता। बयान पे बयान हो रहे थे, पर जब तक वो मेरे साथ मेरी मदद के बयान दे रहे थे जिसमें मेरे खिलाफ कुछ नहीं था, तब तक ईडी को उस पर एतराज़ था। और जैसे ही वह मेरे खिलाफ बयान देते हैं उनका बेटा छूट जाता है और उनके और बयान लेने बंद हो जाते हैं। और 3 अक्टूबर को उनका माफ़ीनामा हो जाता है, यानी कि वो सरकारी गवाह अप्रूवर बन जाते हैं। ईडी और केंद्र सरकार का मिशन कामयाब हो जाता है। अब तक मैंने 2 गवाहों के विषय में बताया, अब मैं तीसरे गवाह पे आता हूं। फिर अरविंद जी ने कहा इनका मकसद साफ है, ईडी का मकसद साफ है।
That was Saurabh Bhardwaj speaking there. Let me go back to Shikha Rai of the BJP if we have her now. Shikha, if you are able to hear me, Saurabh Bhardwaj reiterating what Arvind Kejriwal said in court today, your response to these straight allegations on your party and the ED by the UP.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. See, Saurabh Bharadwaj seems to be a very good storyteller because he was reiterating what has happened in the court. Everybody watched that. But I think he didn't give the moral of the story, which is that if anybody who's accused, who's an accused, be it the CM or be it any ordinary person, would have to go underneath the same legal procedure and would have to follow the consequences. So what happened in the court? That court ultimately gave the ED custody for further till 1st of March after hearing all these arguments before it. Time and again, they're harping on these issues, but they just want to divert the attention of people from the main issue when ED has declared prima facie Mr. Kejriwal to be the kingpin in the liquor policy. As to how the liquor policy was framed for the benefit of the liquor barons, and then the profit margin was how divided amongst the Mr. Kejriwal himself and his party persons and the liquor barons and all the witnesses who have come up during the investigation have given a very clear verdict. And secondly, why are they hopping again and again saying why he was arrested? If he has committed a crime, if he is not cooperating, he is not joining the investigation, definitely after avoiding 8 or 9 summons, the investigation getting agency would definitely arrest him. And now what has happened is, it is not about jail and all. He is in custody for further investigation, and court has granted that further remand to the ED for any purpose.
Yes. Okay. Let me also, quickly bring in Gyanendra at this point. Gyanendra, clearly, we are seeing how Shikha Rai is saying that these are all stories. This is all fiction that is being now espoused by Arvind Kejriwal and Saurabh Bhardwaj to try and escape the law taking its own course. Your response to them, and also these serious charges being leveled out by Mr. Kejriwal, saying that there is nothing really against him. The case has been on, nothing has been found, and is mere hearsay enough to arrest a sitting CM is what he's asking.
No, so Uday, yeah. So there are, the aspect of it, as you rightly said. See, what Ms. Shikhara is telling is her own opinion, and she is referring to some stories and otherwise. But there are certain facts which speaks for itself. As far as the Sharad Reddy's case is concerned, there is a clear and established sequence of action which is on record, part of the record when the electoral bond details were disclosed to the people. That Mr. Sharad Reddy is arrested on a particular date. What CBI has done prior to that, not prior to that, whether there were evidence for Arvind Kejriwal's implications already there or not is a completely different subject matter. The issue is that there are established sequence of events which nobody could deny because it is the part of the evidence now which is in the public domain. One fact is that at one particular date, Mr. Sharad Reddy is arrested, and after 5 days, and Sharad Reddy is arrested for no other case but in the same excise policy case. And the CBI and ED, and there are a statement before the court where the CBI and ED said that he is the kingpin, the term which is now being used for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. The same terminology was used for Mr. Sharad Reddy as well. And Sharad Reddy is arrested on a particular date, and after 5 days, Sharad Reddy's company makes 5 crores, purchase 5 crores electoral bond and give it to BJP. Then the Sharad Reddy has filed the bail application before the court. Again, it is in a public domain, matter of record, where he is clearly stated that he is being pressurized to name certain specific political individual. But he has all along maintained that those political individuals has no implications in this case and he has no information about them. And then after 3 months, he turns into an approver. He becomes an approver. Approval is granted to him. And then he files a bail application. And in that bail application, the ED says that they have no objection if the bail is granted to Sharad Reddy. And then again, 50 crore rupees, after he becomes an approver, 55 crore rupees bond is again purchased and given to BJP. And then he files a bail application. And ED in the court says that they have no objection. So, if the court grants him the bail. So, the 5 months earlier, the ED was telling that he is the kingpin of the excise policy. And after 5 months, ED is saying to the court that they have no objection if he is granted bail. And in this entire period, there is a continuous purchase of the electoral bond by the company to which Sharad Reddy is a promoter and owner. And then that money is being purchased and encashed by BJP. So it is a known fact that BJP as a political party, while accepting the bond, very clearly knew that this is the person who has been made accused in excise policy case, and the company, the same company, is now giving electoral bonds, purchasing electoral bonds and giving it to BJP, and BJP is receiving it. So when you look at it, there is a clear, connecting the dots. Now, as far as whether someone is guilty or not, the whole point is that we are all along hearing that what is the rule of law? The rule of law is that everybody is treated equally in the eye of law, and everybody should be treated equally before the law. So if there are statements and allegations by co-accused or witnesses, and basis which multiple leaders have been arrested in this case, now the electoral bond clearly disclosed that an accused in an excise policy scam case, after being arrested by the ED just 5 days after that is making or giving political donation to the political party who is the ruling party of the country. And therefore, if the allegation arises or if the allegation is made that this money was given as a quid pro quo to seek the relief from the government, to seek some way of exoneration from the government, and exactly this has been done. When he was turned an approver, then he was granted bail, and now he's out of bail, and everybody forgotten about him as far as his role in excise policy case is concerned. So the basic question is that whether the ED or CBI should not investigate this matter and come to a conclusion and subject everybody to same process of law and rule of law. See, nobody is guilty at this stage. Giving a remand by the court to investigative agency by no stretch of imagination can be attributed to any guilt. That we all know that remand is given because an investigating agency says that we need to put questions to the person, we need to get certain evidence from that person, and therefore the custody is important, and the court gives you custody. In no way,
Okay, let's get in the others. Let's get in the others. You had your say. Let me quickly, before I go across to Siddharth Sharma of the AAP, also bring in Ramakant Gaud. Ramakant Gaud, on how the matter is proceeding so far. The interesting assertion of Arvind Kejriwal himself in court today. The judge allowing him 5 minutes despite the objections of the ED counsel. How did you view that intervention today, and what bearings it will have on the case ahead? And also, as far as now the extension of remand to Mr. Kejriwal is concerned?
See, there is another somersault by Mr. Arvind Kejriwal today. Till yesterday, they were arguing before High Court that the remand is illegal, unconstitutional, and their prayer 2 of their petition says that this remand is illegal, it has to be quashed, the remand order has to be quashed, and it is infringing petitioner's fundamental right. Yesterday's petition, on which Delhi High Court issued notice. Today, the same remand is being conceded by the same person himself and say, okay, I will cooperate with the investigation. What is this? He says, I am not guilty, and he makes the charges of political conspiracy. Are you making fun of the courts? Yesterday, you were raising your voice in the courtroom, asking this to be held illegal and unconstitutional. Today, you say it was all right. Today, I am also submitting myself. Keep me in custody, interrogate me. There are diametric stands. Now, Gyanendra ji mentioned certain established facts. Let me reiterate certain other facets of the case. And I am doing so as a legal person and not as a spokesman of any political party. I have nothing to do with BJP, AAP or anybody else. October 2020 to March 2023, October 23 to March 23, there are 9 summons. It is undisputed. Manish Sisodia's bail application is dismissed by Supreme Court on 30th October 2023. Review order is on 13/12/23, where his plea for reviewing that order is dismissed. Even curative petition was dismissed by 4 judges bench, which was on 30/3/24. In the bail, while hearing the bail application, Justice Sanjeev Khanna's led bench asked a specific question: why AAP is not an accused? If AAP is the beneficiary, if AAP has utilized this layered money in the Goa election, why AAP is not an accused? Then and thereafter, AAP was made accused. And who is the national convener of AAP? Arvind Kejriwal. So, now whether it is legal or not, first thing first is that where this money came from in Goa election, they could have produced the accounts before ED. Why they were shying away from October 23 to March 23? Why is this victim card being played today? Now, certain other facts which needs to be looked into. They say there is no evidence. I am quoting the order passed by Supreme Court, and this is nothing which is coming from me. Supreme Court in paragraph 6 of their order, which is 41 pages order, by the way, on the bail application of Manish Sisodia. There are 294 witnesses, about 31,000 pages of document in the charge sheet filed by CBI. There are 162 witnesses and 25,000 pages of documents in the prosecution complaints filed by Directorate of Enforcement. This is the situation. All these witnesses, all these documents cannot be brushed aside by saying one word, political conspiracy. They have to. See, who is right and who is wrong is to be determined by the court in due course of time. But you go and join investigation. What you are saying today before the court, you could have said this in October 2023. Why did you take this much of time that ED comes, arrest you, take you into the custody, and there also you are not responding to the summons, responding to the questions put by the investigators. Moreover, if you look at further legal proceedings, then my brother Gyanendra Mishra said that Sharad is one of the witnesses who has become approver. Please look into the law relating to approver.
Okay, I'm running out of time. I need to get a quick intervention from Siddharth Sharma as well, then I'll end of the Aam Aadmi Party. Siddharth, you've heard what the other panelists have had to say. They've, of course, raised doubts on Arvind Kejriwal's assertions in court today. Your response to them, Shikhar Rai earlier said that these are fictional stories now being spun by AAP to try and get away from the law taking its own course. Meanwhile, Sunita Kejriwal also saying that perhaps Arvind Kejriwal's health is also suffering because of ED harassment.
Yeah, point number one, I joined the program a little bit late because of some issues, so apologies for that. I think I heard what Mr. Ramakant Gaur said just before me, so I'll start with what he has said. He is a learned counsel, and we have to understand that the learned counsel is also an officer of the law. I think he should have also said that presumption of innocence is central to the rule of law. That is the basic principle, and he did not say that. And he is a learned counsel. I am not, but I'm just reminding him that he should have said that. Essentially, what happened in court today was Arvind Kejriwal in court today said, asked, why have you arrested me? And the ED counsel, the ED advocate said that we have a statement against you. And Mr. Kejriwal retorted by saying that if I say I gave 100 crores to Mr. Modi or Mr. Amit Shah, will you go and arrest them also based on my statement? Essentially, and one more thing that has happened is that I can purely perfectly understand advocates like Mr. Gaur having difficulty and the ED counsel also having difficulty with Arvind Kejriwal making statements, because if clients start themselves speaking in courts, the lawyers are obviously going to get less fees. So I can understand their pain that Arvind Kejriwal wants to argue his own case. So essentially, basically what has happened today is that when Sita is forcibly kept in Ravan's custody, she obviously won't resist. It is now for the Vanar Sena that will do what is needed to release her. Sita here being decency and Vanar Sena being the 140 crore people of India. I rest my case.
My thanks to all of our guests for joining us.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.